Hello everyone and welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We are here for the 16th and final race of the regular season for the AKG Cup Series, season number 5. We are here for the Advanced Auto Parts Brickyard 400, and this race will determine the 16 drivers who will race for a championship beginning next time out at Chicagoland for the 8-race chase. We already know 12 of said drivers already locked in, but 8 drivers racing for the final 4 positions in the chase, and we'll get to them before we get to the race. But this race, really looking forward to it. A lot of guys looking to go out there and prove a point. Some drivers 8 drivers looking to get into those final 4 spots. Some guys looking for the best position they possibly can in the chase, and some guys looking to just prove something at the back end of this year. They may not make the chase, but just looking to go out there and get the best results possible to help build momentum for next season. And for some who currently don't have a ride in the series, looking to get momentum and get owners interested in potentially picking them up for season number 6. We'll get to those 8 drivers now, because there's a fair bit to talk about with each of them. 13th in points is Simon Nichols in the number 3, his final season in Cup in this series. He comes into this race 40 points to the good. Now, he should make it, but that's not a guarantee. 40 points is quite a lot, and it would take a miracle, really, for him to fall out. But it's not impossible for Simon Nichols and the number 3 team. So I think, I don't know the clinching scenario off the top of my head, but they don't need to do much today, but get even a decent result. Doesn't have to be, it can be in the 20s for crying out loud, and he'd get a spot. So simple as that for Simon Nichols. 14th in points, the guy who will replace him at Nicotech next year is Noah Clifton, the Charlotte winner. He comes into this race 23 points to the good. His teammate Richard Fridge, the owner of that team, SoFlo Racing, 22 points to the good. He's 15th in points. Those two guys, they're in an interesting position. They're not safe by any means. They are not safe by any means, but they're in a good position. 23 and 22 points. All they need to do is just to get a decent finish today, and they should make the chase and be the first time that SoFlo Racing would have 2 cars in the chase if they're both able to pull it off. However, it is still possible that at least one of them does fall out, and then it gets very tight for the final position. 16th in points, 3rd at Michigan last week, took a gamble, Colin Denton, but if I got 3rd on fuel strategy, and now 16th in points, 2 points to the good. The only way he clinches, I can guarantee this, the only way he clinches is with a win. There is no other way for him to clinch a spot. So if he wins this race, he is in. So it's as simple as that for Colin Denton. Jamie Rose is 2 points back. She is 17th in points. She's the first driver on the outside looking in. And same goes for her. She wins this race, she will be in. So, it goes without saying that, for those two, got to do what they can to win this race. Then it gets a bit more difficult. Kelly Lee, Jamie Rose's teammate for Premier Racing Motorsports, is 12 points back. She's 18th in points. And 12 points isn't impossible. It's certainly doable, depending on way things go for Kelly Lee. In the number 76, certainly doable. 18th in points, 12 points. It's not much in the grand scheme of things. And same can be said for William Brock, who is 19th in points, 14 points back. Certainly doable. Certainly very easy. No, not very easy, but certainly doable. Can make it, of course, depending on where the results fall. But 14 points, it's not a huge amount. So we'll have to, if he can get a good run today, he can make it in that number 1. And then Cody Smart, who starts on the front row for this race. You see him on the outside pole there in the Worth Ford. He comes into this race 36 back. Now, it's very, very, very unlikely that he makes it. However, starting up the front, if he does win this race, and Rose and all of that, Rose, Denton, Lee, and Brock, if they all have bad runs, very, very bad runs, then Cody Smart could make it. So, not likely that he makes it, but starting up the front, certainly helps the cause. The Brickyard 400, 40 laps long, and it should be very, very interesting to see how it all shapes out, to see how the top 16 plays out by the end of this race. We'll get to the starting lineup, which is rolling on the bottom of your screen. As always, Julio Caesar locked into the chase. He's got his third pole of the year. He's joined by Cody Smart. We talked about him in the number 2. Row 2, our last winner in the series, Jake Rogers, second in points, and Alexander Rowe, third in points. 4 wins on the year for him. Row 3, Benny Watson won the pole back here in Season 1, and Dawson Miller, the Pocono winner. Both drivers will be in the chase. Row 4, Nathan Stapleton, the highest driver that cannot make the chase, but his teammate Eli Bright, the Daytona 500 champ, will be making his first chase appearance of his career. Row 5, two-time series champion Brandon Bent from the 9th position, and Jack Porkins in the number 71 back into the chase for the 5th year in a row. Row 6, talked about Kelly Lee in the 76, needs to do the best job possible. She starts 11th. Great starting spot for Christian Vargas in the 43. Row 7, Colin Denton and William Brock. Both drivers need to do what they can to make their way into the chase. We talked about them earlier on. Row 8, Henry Gore in the 72, Season 3 winner of this race. And Jamie Rose in the number 40, talked about her as well, needs to do what she can to make the chase. Row 9, Arthur Xavier in the 2nd Fitzwater Dodge. Very good run for him. And Tristan Allen, the Season 1 winner of this race, is the points leader, looking to lock up the regular season championship, rounding out the top 20 drivers. Lorenz Marga in the Team Velocitar Chevrolet, and Simon Nichols, 40 points to the good in the number 3, should make it, but might not. The rest of the starting lineup is rolling on the bottom of your screen. And as you see, Dominic Anthony from 24's got some work to do, but he's got 40 laps to do it. It'll be 100 miles, and we should have about 2 pit stops. This is an interesting row. Row 14, Noah Clifton, 23 to the good, alongside Keen Rally, and then Richard Fridge, 22 to the good. Those 3 guys have some work to do in this race. Of course, Clifton and Fridge certainly not locked in at this stage in time. Tanya Breyer, her first start since Season 4, as well with some good qualifying efforts, some poor ones for some drivers compared to what they normally have. And by the end of the day, we will determine who will be in that chase for the championship and who will not. And the D&Qs, both Buck Racing Dodgers of Halleck and Hamill, missed the show. Race 16 and 24, 40 laps, 100 miles, and this is the final race of the regular season. There's your previous winners. 3 of those guys in the field, and there your chase cutoff. Just to reiterate where the points stand: Nichols, Clifton, Fridge, Denton currently in, Rosalie, Brock, and Smart currently out. Next guys on pit road: Julio Caesar and Cody Smart will lead the field to the green. And away we go. Green flags out, and we are racing in the final regular season race of the year. And to complete the first lap of this Brickyard 400, the 98-hour last winner, Jake Rogers at the line. Benny Watson, second top left of the screen. You can see the point standings of these chase drivers. The current, for the final few positions, you got Lee, Denton, and Cody Smart, all kind of around this area, although Smart falling back on the outside. And at the moment, Colin Denton, 11 points to the good. Got off to a very good start, already in the top 10 in that number 21. But of course, we're only on lap 2 of this race. Kelly Lee as well, 11 points back. She's gotten off to a good start as well, but with Denton so high up, doesn't really help her cause. There's Brandon the 27, all over the back of Stapleton. Good start for Stapleton. But Brandon, the winner of this race a year ago, didn't mention that in the starting lineup, but did win this race a year ago as Caesar now to the inside. It's Trey Riders on pit road in the number 35. Now, he did make the start. He did make the start, but something's happened on the first lap by the looks of it, in which he's had to pit. He will be a lap down, I would think. Scoreboard doesn't show it, but I think he will be in a minute. It's Brad Bent now going for second underneath of Julio Caesar. Lee trying to get up into the 4th position back in there in the 76 to the inside of Watson. Denton in the 21 looks like he might try and make a move to the inside. Whoa! That was silly, I reckon, to be honest. Lap 3, and that was ridiculous. Watson, I think, came down more on Denton, but both of them are going to fall back, particularly Colin Denton. And you could see the standings quickly update. Now 1 point to the good, but of course, still very early days. But Watson came down, and that's what caused that little bit of contact. And thankfully, they kept it straight, but still, doesn't help either of those guys' cause. Kelly Lee up into 4th, under a lot of pressure from the 48 of Dawson Miller, and he is going to try and get past this 76 here in turn 3. Won't be able to do so yet. Side by side into 4. Let's go. Henry Gore and Alexander Rowe behind him on that inside lane. Miller will clear. Gore is going to try and follow through. Rowe in the 51 behind them. And then Lee on that outside trying to hold on for the moment, but unable to do so right now. Top 2 have pulled away. Rogers and Bent, then Caesar. You look back in there. Cody Smart has gotten to the inside of Lee. So Smart now the highest of those 8 drivers that we're going to keep an eye on in this one. Look down the order. There's Denton. He fell a long way back as a result. He's probably going to be pretty frustrated with what happened there. I think they just kind of hooked wheels. It was just a little bit of contact between he and the 96. The 96 trying to cut down on him. This time he will give him a bit more room, but probably a little bit over-aggressive there very early in the pieces. Now Lee on that outside lane. Not having a very good time as of right now. Battle on for the lead here. Brandon Bent looking to become the first driver to win multiple Brickyard 400s. He's going to try and get to the inside right here of his teammate Rogers. And won't be able to do so yet. Rogers, interestingly enough, didn't mention it, but he got his 10th win last week. That's makes him one of 3 drivers to have double-digit wins in this series. The other 2, Tristan Allen and Cyrus McGee. So that's a pretty elite company to be in, to be honest. And Brandon Bent looking to add his name to that list as well, because he looks pretty racy very early on in the piece in Parker Stall Ford. And he got a good run off of 4, and he's going to go to the inside here, and it looks like he will get ahead in turn 1, and he does. So Brandon Bent now to the front of the field. Miller's up into 3rd. He's got around Caesar in the 25. He's fallen back a little bit. Then Gore, Cody Smart. Good run for Smart, but he needs to do better, really, to be honest. And Lorenz Marga, very good run for Lorenz Marga, currently up in 7th. Bright, there's Kelly Lee in the 76. In 9th, probably needs to get that car a little bit further up towards the front. So you look back down in here. Some of these guys racing back down towards the order. How about Richard Fridge? Currently in position to make it, so is Noah Clifton. Colin Denton, of course, still trying to recover from what happened on lap 3 of the race. William Brock back in here. He's got some work to do in the number 1. Going a bit further back down, 24th as of right now, to the inside of Kean Rowley, and we'll get that spot. So that's 1 more position for him. Jamie Rose as well back in there in the number 40s. I think Rowley and Friesen made a bit of contact, but Rose, 8 back, needs to do a little bit better right now. Needs to make some ground up on the 21 and the 76. And this will help the cause. This is Porkins to the inside of Kelly Lee. This is for 9th position. Porkins could still win the regular season championship. Hasn't won a race this year, but could still win it if things go his way. How about Arthur Xavier? Fantastic start for the Fitzroy Australia Racing Man. New colours for him this week. PaySafe on this car. This is the only race they'll be sponsoring the team. And now Stapleton kind of fell back a little bit now to the inside of Arthur Xavier, and he will get that position. So Moves Stapleton up into 11th. Fridge is going to follow right through, and Anthony, and there's our current points leader, season 1 winner of this race, Tristan Allen, looking to lock up the regular season championship and get himself a bonus 25 points towards this starting chase total. Dawson Mills moved his way up to second ahead of Rogers. That car looks pretty quick right now, the 48, and looking to try and close in on Brandon Bent for the race lead. The top 5 kind of pulled away here a little bit, but I'll tell you what, this 27 has had some moments where it looked really quick, but just not a lot of luck this year for him. And then you got back in here, Rogers, Caesar, Henrik War, season 3 winner of this race, having a very solid run right now. Marga has gotten around Cody Smart. This is a great run for Marga right now. 6th position, I should say, selling him short, but good run for him right now, but he is a bit of a ways back. He is over a second off that top 5. Then Smart, you look back in here, Kelly Lee's in 10th. We're going to continue to monitor this. There's Brock Rose, and Colin Denton has fallen back again. He's got damage on his left side, so we've got a replay here on the right. Oh, and that would probably do it. So a bit of a hit on that right side there. Also the left side, I should say. Not doing Denton any favours, sending him back down the order just a little bit. There's Rose in the 40. Still not really, I mean, it's 1 point back right now on the move up in the 40, but not enough to get past a teammate right now, as Dawson Miller has gotten around Brandon Bent for the race lead. So the 48 hits the front for the first time today. Must have got it done in 1 and 2. You see, these guys have dropped Rogers back in there. Gore has got around Caesar. So Gore now up into the 4th position. That car looks pretty decent as well. Currently the highest of the Gifford Technology racing cars. And Brandon Bent's all over the back of this 48. Trying to make a move, and looks like he may get to him this time. To the inside off of turn 2. And they're going to be side by side. Down the back straightaway, still there on that left rear quarter panel. And off into turn 3. And then, of course, a little short straightaway before turn 4. And it looks like Brandon Bent's going to get there. Rogers trying to follow through. Bent clears. And will take the lead of the race. Now Rogers trying to get to the inside here. Number 4. Yeah. Oh, and into the wall is Nichols. It's Nichols in the number 3 and Kian Riley in the 10. 2 Nicotech Chevys into the wall in turn 4, and Simon Nichols, it gets run into by Tanya Breyer at the end, but Nichols' car is destroyed, and that changes everything. So Nichols, who was way down the order anyway, started 20th but fell back, involved in an accident. The yellow is out for the first time today, and that car, front, rear, left side, just totaled. Let's see, I think he's done for the day, and he is. So Nichols is out of this race. And that's the worst thing that owner Isaac Nichols wanted. That's the last thing he wanted to see. And now the door is open, well and truly, for him to potentially miss the chase. And that's the last thing he'd want in his last full season, Simon Nichols, in the series. In fact, last season at all. So Brandon Bent, 27, he won the race back to the line, and I think I would assume we're gonna have pit stops, and looks like we will. I don't think this has thrown off the pit stop strategy too much here, this yellow, but whether it has or not remains to be seen. I don't think it has. Or at least for the moment. We've got another quick caution in mind, but don't think it's that bad. But anyways, everyone I think is going to come down, which isn't much of a surprise at all. And still, we haven't quite gotten, what is it, lap 14 now? So still, very early days, and Nichols already out of it. So, I mean, it's very unlikely he falls out. It would need Rose and Denton to have very good runs, as you can see. I've got a little bit of contact there between Rowe and Stapleton. Of course, Rowe used to drive for Stapleton in Season 4, so That's a bit funny there, but looks like Brown Bet's going to win the race off of pit road. And he does. Dawson Miller in second, Jake Rogers in third, Cody Smart up to fourth. Needs to do a little bit better than that, but fourth is pretty good. And Henry Gore in fifth, but Smart probably needs to win this race to be able to make the chase. But off of pit road, Brandon Bent is the leader. Big accident in turn 4. Let's take a look at what happened to trigger the first yellow of the day. Here's what happened. It's towards the back of the field. Jared Oren goes to the inside of Nichols and will just slide up into the left rear of Nichols right there, gets into him. And this is what we see at Indianapolis. Just kind of hooks him. And Nichols actually hits it quite flat on the driver's side right there, flat against the wall, but no chance of slowing down. He was never going to get back without contact, and he goes back up the racetrack, and Kian Rally is right there. And into the wall goes the 3 and the 10, and both cars destroyed. And not good for Rally, looking to, he's had, 10 top 10s on the year, and looking to improve his chase position. But Nichols in particular, of course, he can still miss out. It's not impossible at this stage, and out of the race very early on the piece. He will finish last as well in the number 3, and here's his point of view from the rear. Jeez, he got rammed really hard by Rally. Rally nowhere to go in the number 10. Couldn't do anything about it. And right there, that's Tanya Brea running into the back as well. More damage to add on to it. Here's Kian Rally's point of view. Just nowhere to go. He's on that outside. Just unfortunate for him that Nichols came up the racetrack. It's a shame. Colin Denton was back here. Say a look from his point of view. Jeez, that's a massive hit for both of those guys. Lots of damage on both cars, and here's a real-time look. Hits the wall quite flat. And there's no way you're going to stop that from coming back up on the racetrack. And it could have been a lot worse. We could have had more drivers involved, but thankfully it was just Nichols and Rally, and then of course Brea getting a piece of it. Tough break for the 3 in particular and the 10. 2 Nicotech cars out of the race early on. Let's take you back to the green. Actually, quickly, before we go back to the green, this happened behind all of this. 3 wide, Brea, a sip, and the 20 are coming. Yassi just squeezed each other into the wall and spun around. And it was just that was a very minor accident. We did not see it at first, but that's how those guys were so far back to begin with. And then Brea, of course, right there. Tough break for the 56 on debut, season debut, and a sip as well in the 88 and the 20 of Yassi. But anyways, let's take you back to the green. Coming back to the green this time, Brandon Bent is the race leader in the number 27 with Dawson Miller in second, Jake Rogers in third, Cody Smart in fourth. Good run for him. He needs to have a good run, but he needs to win this race, of course. And now with Nichols and Rally out of this race and Henry Gore in fifth. So in terms of Nichols, now out of the race, he finishes last. He only gets a point for that. So if he were to miss, it would be on the basis of probably Denton finishing second and Rose winning would probably have to be the way. Or if Denton were to win and Rose were to finish second, have to be one of those two. Those are the only ways I can think of off the top of my head that would see Nichols fall out. So for the time being, it's a nervous wait, but no, and I don't think he'll miss out here in the number 3. And a tough day for Nicotech. Of course, he got Miller in second. You got Julio Caesar in the top 10. He's behind Lorenz Marga in the 8th position, but 2 cars out of the race very early in the piece, and the one guy that you needed to race his way in, the other 3 are locked in. One of those the only guy you needed to race in, out of the race, and will finish last. Pace cars on pit road. Brandon, the defending winner of this race, leads them back to green. We are racing once again. And wasting no time to the inside, Dawson Miller is going to try and take this lead away from Brandon Bent. And Rogers is going to follow Bent up on the high lane, but it's not going to work out. Miller takes the lead, and Smart up into third and going for second here. And this is a great restart for Cody Smart. Of course, we talked about it. You see on the ticket there, 18 points behind right now. Jamie Rose currently holding that last position. 18 points. Needs a lot to go his way, but winning would certainly help his cause. So look back in here, Brent Bent able to hold on to the third position, sliding in front of Henry Gore. But the two here of Cody Smart, he needs really to win this race and things go his way to make it in as of right now. But Miller has got a bit of a gap in the number 48. He's got a bit of a lead over the two. As you look down the order, there's Caesar, Anthony, there is Kelly Lee. Currently, whoa, careful. Slid up the racetrack a little bit, got into Rogers. Keeps it out of the wall, but you see Tristan Allen up there as well in the 14. But Lee, 1 point to the good right now over her teammate, Jamie Rose. So, still a long way to go, of course, but this is a decent position for her to be in right now. Surely she will need to move her way up to the front a little bit more. Brandon Bent's going to try and make a move to the inside of Cody Smart. They're not going to be side by side down the front straightaway, but Bent was right there on that quarter panel and probably sizing up the move in the not too distant future, I would think, as Smart tries to close in on the 48 for the lead. Through turn 2. Down the back straightaway, Brandon Bent looking to the inside again and well and truly letting Cody Smart know, as you see Allen to the inside of Lee. Lee now 6 points to the good, so Rose must have dropped a few positions on that lap. Now Gore has gone to the inside of Brandon Bent, so he's going to try and make the move, although can't quite hang on that inside lane, and Smart's closing in on Miller for this race lead. And Smart right now 18 points behind, and still a lot needs to go his way, but there's Lee. 6 points to the good right now. Actually 9 points to the good, but only 17 ahead of Smart. So things are looking alright for Smart if Lee were to drop back a little bit. Here about how about the two SoFlo Toyotas, Clifton and Richard Fridge, both 38 points to the good right now. Certainly in position to make it as long as they do not, as long as they keep themselves clean. William Brock 15 points back. He's trying to make his way through. Look down the order. There's Jamie Rose. She's falling back on that outside lane. Freezing going to the inside in the 46. And she continuing to fall back here. And there is Denton. He is all the way at the back of the field. He got that damage from Clifton. We showed that before. And now, way down at the back of the field. 14 points. Yeah, 14 points behind the 76 right now. So, right now, things are going well for Kelly Lee. She's on that inside lane, moving her way up past Julio Caesar. That's up to 6th, I think. Brad Bent's got around Cody Smart for the second position and all that. We missed that, but Smart's going to fight back to the inside here for the second position. He really wants to get that race win. To the inside and a chase spot as well. But Lee right there, of course, not too far behind as well. Eli Bright up, trying to get up into third. They're going to be side by side down the front straightaway. Bright and Bent, the two defending the last two Daytona 500 winners in this series at the line. Dominic Anthony may be going 3 wide, but he stays away from that idea, which is for the best because 3 wide doesn't typically work all the time here at Indianapolis. Dawson Miller in all this is pulled away. He's got a bit of a gap back now to Cody Smart. And Eli Bright's on the come up. There is Kelly Lee. She is now in the top 5. Got Rogers, Hawkins, Tristan Allen, Caesar and Fridge all behind on that inside lane. But Lee now into the top 5, and Eli Bright looking to bookend the regular season. Won the first race, the Daytona 500. Looking to get the second career win here at the Brickyard 400. Bookend the season. Could be a nice way to start off the chase for him. We'll momentum to head into the chase. There's Clifton. He's got Fridge not too far ahead of him. They are, 41 and 40 points to the good, so as long as nothing happens to them, they'll be fine, I think. They're ahead of Nichols as well now, which is good news for them. There's Rowe in the 51 back in there. Whoa, that was close. That was definitely contact between Allen and Clifton, I think. It was definitely contact, and you don't need to be doing that if you know a Clifton. You're 40 points to the good. Nichols out of the race. Don't need to be trying to wreck yourself with less than half the race to go. Eli Bright's up into second. I tell you what, the 95 looks quick right now, and so does the 39 of Dominic Anthony. He looks like he's gonna get up in this third position ahead of his former team owner Cody Smart. Smart back into fourth, as now Lee is gonna get to the inside, and that's bad for Smart, as he's going to fall back even more. Branabet looking to go to the inside. They're going to be 3 wide down that back straightaway. Caesar on the inside. Smart on the outside. Branabet in the middle. They're going to be 3 wide into turn 3. And we saw this before with the first yellow. Didn't work too well, but they're going to get away with it for the good piece of driving. They're able to get away with it. Smart. Oh! Big crash! Into the wall hard went Diego Yepes. And that is Christian Vargas. I think it was Stapleton in the 97. Oh, and there's more. Trey Wright's gone spinning into the wall. Jamie Rose is involved in the 40. Oh, it was Stapleton, the 97. Logan Williams in the 7. Jamie Rose involved. Addison Steinbach in the 53. Vargas. Oh boy. And the second yellow of the day involves another one of those bubble drivers. And this time, it's Jamie Rose. Nichols was the first one, and now Jamie Rose involved in that accident. That is a tough break for her. Dawson Miller, well, he's probably not going to be too happy because he had a bit of a lead over Eli Bright. Coming to the yellow, and it'll be a bit of frustration for him, as he'll have to deal with another restart. But he got a good restart the last time, though, so we'll see. Looks like he's going to have another round of pit stops. And these will be the final ones of the race. I'd be surprised if it's otherwise. They may be running close to fuel if that's the case. I think they'd make it because it was, what was it, lap? It's going to be 15 laps on this. I think they'll make it back to the end. So that should be fine. Everyone's going to stay out. Trey Wright's a lap down. He'll come down next time, I would think. He got involved in that accident. We'll see who can win the race off of pit road. As Miller get into his pit stall. Let's see. You'd think they'd take 4 tyres because it's 15 laps. It's pretty much going to be a full run to the end of this one. Eli Bright's done. No, they're going to take 2. My bad. They're going to take 2 tyres. And Eli Bright, very close. It's going to be a drag race off of pit road. And Miller barely edges out Eli Bright. Good pit stop for the 95, but it wasn't enough for him to take the lead. Then Rogers, Porkins, and Cody Smart still in 5th position, trying to do whatever he can to try and win this race and get into the chase, even if it is even more unlikely now after another accident. Not early in the race. We're about, what are we now? Lap 26. So, anyways, Dawson Miller is the race leader. Let's take a look at what happened to trigger the second caution of the day. This is why we're under the yellow flag. Diego Yepes in the number 47. We saw him take a hard shot. And this is why, because he's getting passed by teammate William Brock and then Christian Vargas. Same thing we saw before. He slides up the racetrack, gets into the left rear of Yepes, although Yepes this time, instead of hitting flat on the wall, hits it with the left front, hard on the wall, and that's his day done right there. But he slides back up the track once again. No way you're going to stop this, and it's Vargas and Stapleton takes a hard hit into the wall with the right front, and Vargas as well, who had a great qualifying effort. I mean, both those guys, Stapleton and Vargas, had great qualifying efforts involved. And then it gets worse from here. I think something happens here to Trey Wright. I think more so than we'll see. Yeah, oh, okay, so Trey Wright's got turned around by Tanya Breyer. He's going to back it into the wall there. And there you go. They've just all run in the back of each other. So David Johnson ran into the back of Rose. Got run into by, I think it was Steinbach in the 53. But look at Steinbach lift the 5 off the ground. And Steinbach certainly got the worst of that deal. And I think a sip was in the back of the 53. And then Logan Williams in the 7. All running into the back of all that. Here's Jamie Rowe's point of view. Yeah, just wasn't actually that much. It's not that much damage at all, just a spin. That's it. Didn't really hit anything else, and she'll be able to continue. Oh, yeah, got run into by the 7 of Williams, but here's Colin Denton's on board. Let's take a look. Oh, he just got a little piece of there with Mitchell Collins as they tried to avoid that crash, but relatively unscathed for the 21. Here's William Brock. And he goes off. And yeah, I mean, that was always going to happen. That's a massive hit for both the 47 and the 97. They were always going to slide the racetrack. Here's Benny Watson's on board. He gets by this. Whoa, that's close. That's very close. Watson very lucky to get through that in his real time. Oh, that's a massive hit on Stapleton. And the bang right there. And Trey Wright really went in hard. He went in backwards very hard. And yeah, my goodness. That was a big crash. Second yellow of the day. Rose able to get by Logan Williams there just barely, but tough break for all those involved. Dawson Miller in the 48 is the race leader. Let's take you back to the second restart of the day. Coming back to the restart this time, Dawson Miller is the leader, and gotta look down the order a little bit. There's Colin Denton in the 21. He actually got through clean, but had to come back down pit road because of the damage he had with Mitchell Collins, and then Jamie Rose, of course, involved in that incident as well. Got a little bit of rear end damage, so they're a long way down the order. Then you got Brock and Lee. Lee had a slow pit stop. She fell down the order quite a bit, actually. And Brock just kind of is still there, well and truly still in the game now, particularly with Lee slipping down the order in the pit stops. It makes things very close for that last position. But anyways, Miller's the leader, Bright is second, Rogers, Porkins, and Smart is the top 5. We have multiple guys now out of the race as a result, so I find it very hard for Cody Smart to make it in now. I think it's all but a... No, we're not going to say it's a guarantee, but I find it very hard for him to make it in. Pace cars on pit road. Miller, Bright, Rogers, Pork, and Smart, the top 5. And we are green once again here at Indianapolis. Everyone's still single file for the moment. Miller leading. Rogers is going to make the move as soon as I say that they're all single file. He's going to go to the second position. I thought he's got to make the move done first, but he's going to try and go for second to the inside of the 95. Side by side into turn 4, I should say. Miller pulls away. Side by side down this front straightaway. Bright trying to fight back, but Porkins and Smart, they're going to go to the inside and try and push Rogers. Although Bright fighting back on that outside. Still second across the line. Side by side, and the 98 moves up into second, and Porkins is going to move to third. He's still winless this year. Looking for that first win. Would love to get it done here today. And Smart slides up the racetrack just a bit. Maybe to just get the 95 out. Just try and get that 95 out of the way. But he's finally going to get it done. He's got help from the 25 of Caesar, the 27 of Brandon Benton, and you got Allen back in there as well. The Caesar out of the inside. Bright is going to fall back. So you look down the order a little bit. There's Brock, there's Lee, Lee at the moment with the last position as of right now in that number 76. And Brock is 3 points back, so it's certainly not over for William Brock. He's very close to it. And then back in here, Jamie Rose in the 40. Now 2 points back as we cross the line. Colin Denton, 1 point back, is right behind. There he is in the 21. And so, big crash in the wall. Lorenz Marquez in the wall hard. Austin Johnson. And that is someone else. There's more cars involved. I don't know who that is. That's someone. That's Sakoma Yassi in the 20. Arthur Xavier, who was having a fantastic run. There's Johnson's car. It's destroyed. Number 66, Ryan Benjamin's involved as well. I think Rose has a little bit of front end damage. Maybe she got involved in that as well. That would be... Well, that would be very bad for Rose. It would certainly hurt her chances. Miller wins the race back to the line. And I think Rose was right behind all of that chaos. So she was right behind all of that. I think she got a piece of it. I don't think Denton got any damage though. We'd have to check that out. But anyways, I think these guys certainly should make it down. So I'll make it down without another pit stop. So Dawson Miller is the race leader. Let's take a look at what happened to trigger the third caution of the day. Here's what happened. 3 wide. Mitchell Collins makes it 3 wide. And Benjamin slides up the racetrack. Gets into the 08 of Marga. And they make contact, slide down the racetrack, back up in the 99, and that shoots them back up the racetrack, and that's a hard hit, particularly for Marga. Austin Johnson, Kim got a piece of it in the 15. Xavier spinning. Rose did get a piece of Austin Johnson's 66 car. The 21 of Denton's going to get through. Sakoma Yassi was not so fortunate, and neither was the 96 of Watson. Trying to get by on that outside lane, just gets caught up. Renan Hasip actually does a good job getting through that. And then back up into Arthur Xavier goes the 20 as Yassi nowhere to go. And Xavier and Marga, I mean, they were having, they qualified pretty well and they were having pretty good runs. At one point, Marga was up to 6 at the one stage, but fell back in that one. Here's Jamie Rose on board. Oh, just a bit of damage, and that could hurt in the long run on this last restart. Colin Denton's point of view. Oh boy, he did a good job. And Trey Wright ran into the 88, but a good piece of driving from Denton to get through that. Here's Benny Watson. He wasn't so lucky right there. What looked like a promising day fell apart very quickly for Benny Watson in the 96. He's in the chase though, nothing to worry about for him, but here's a real time. Oh, that's a big hit. Big hit for Marga. And then Yassi comes flying in. Oh, and right there. On Arthur Xavier as well. Lots of damage for so many guys. Yassi in the 20. It's not the first accident he's been a part of this year. Lorenz Marga, mentioned before, he was up as high as 6th in the Velocista Chevrolet, and now out of the race, Xavier was up towards the top 10. So some of those guys were very disappointing finishes in what could have been very, very good runs for them. But anyways, Dawson Miller is the race leader. Let's take you back to the final restart of the day. Actually, before we do, this has happened under yellow. We talked about Jamie Rose getting front-end damage right there. Colin Denton gets front-end damage. So look at the damage on the 21, and that will hurt him as well. And Watson also getting a piece of it. A bit of a stack up there. Couldn't slow down in time, and that is going to hurt the 21 maybe. So this battle continues to just be crazy. It's unbelievable. We'll come down to the last lap, that is for sure. But anyways, Dawson Miller's the race leader. Let's take you back to the final restart of the day. Coming back to the green, this will be the last restart of the day because we'll be restarting with 5 laps to go. So if a yellow does come out for the 4th time today, it would end the race. So, Dawson Miller is the race leader. Jake Rogers is in 2nd. Jack Porkins is 3rd. Cody Smart is 4th. and Julio Caesar is 5th. Now, in terms of Cody Smart, I think he's out of it. I don't think he's got a shot. However, when we look down the order a bit, there is the 21. He's got a bit of front-end damage, of course, from that. Jamie Rose has a bit of front-end damage in the number 40. Those two currently tied on points. William Brock's not terribly far out of it either in the number 1. He did fall back on the race back to the line a little bit, but he's still there. And Kelly Lee, if she can make up a few positions, currently would be in. Nichols is going to make it, I think, in the number 3, despite finishing last and being out of the race, and certainly the 26 and the 6. Barring a complete disaster in the last 5 laps, the 2 SoFlo Toyotas will be in. It's gonna be a crazy finish. We've got 5 laps to go, and it will be Miller, who's looking for his 2nd win of the year. Rogers looking for his 3rd. Porkins and Smart both looking for their 1st, and Caesar looking for his 3rd. Pace cars on pit road, and once again it's Dawson Miller who's going to lead the field to the green. And there we go, green flag racing. We are underway once again. Down the back. You see the guys out of the race as well. There are a bunch of them now out of the race, particularly because of that wreck. There goes Rogers to the inside. He's going to make the move here for the race lead. Side by side in the 3, and Porkins nearly got into the right rear of the 98, but they kept off each other. And Rogers cannot get alongside. The 48 cleared him. Smart's up into 3rd. Brandon Band on the inside. Then Bright and Tristan Allen all on that inside lane trying to move their way up. At the moment, Rogers trying to close on Miller, who's led the most laps in this race. It's been a fantastic drive by the 48. 4 laps to go. There's the 26, moving his way up. I think he will make it. Richard Fridge in the 26. I think he will make it. Not a good Scott having a good run. John Andrews as well. There's Kelly Lee. Kelly Lee is right now 14th position. So she's got some work to do. William Brock's even further back. Down in 19th. Clifton in the 6th has actually lost a few positions, but he should make it. There is Jamie Rose currently right now. Has the last position. Has the last chase spot. There is the 21 of Colin Denton. So this is going to come down to these last 3 laps right here. And right now it is Jamie Rose with a 1-point lead over the 21 of Colin Denton. But there's still so much to play out in these last few laps. Oh, car blowing up. Car blowing up to Alexander Rowe. Alexander Rowe, the 51, has blown up. And the 4-time winner this year is out of the race. Oh, be careful. They're going to get around him. They're going to get around him. Now, we actually could have a yellow here. This could end the race, potentially. Let's see. He's not going to make it. He's certainly not going to make it back. So this could trigger a yellow. But I don't think so. I think they're too far away. I think these guys here, the 48 and the 98, they're too far away from the 51. There will be... no yellow. No yellow. We're going to keep it green. Keep it green. Allen to the inside of Cody Smart. And Smart's faint chances are slipping away. Allen in the 14. Richard Fridge in the 26 up into the... I think that's up to 6th. Lee has moved up into 13th as a result of what happened to Alexander Rose. She's got to get Nonigan against Scott and probably a few more drivers. William Brock, he's got to make his way up a lot. Battle for the lead. Rogers to the inside, looking to get back-to-back wins to round out the regular season. Miller trying to fight back on the outside. This will be the last lap of the regular season. The white flag's in the air. We will finish this race under green. Miller at the line. Can he hold on in one? Rogers is going to drive it in pretty hard, and he will clear. Jake Rogers takes the lead at Indianapolis. Looking for his 3rd win of the year. If he does get this win, it would tie him for the most wins in the league with Allen and McGee in that number 98. Down the back straightaway right now. It's currently tied for the last position. Rose and Denton currently tied. Here goes the 48. He got to the inside of Miller. To the inside of Rogers, I should say. Miller trying to get this win. Into 4. He will not be able to clear the 98. They're going to be side by side to the line. Rogers on the outside, Miller on the inside, and it will be Dawson Miller getting his second win of the year. He wins at Indianapolis. And across the line they all go. There's the 21. And I think that's correct. That is correct. Jamie Rose finishes 22nd. Colin Denton 24th. And by virtue of the Daytona win a few races ago, Jamie Rose in the number 40, Rocket Mortgage Dodge from Premier Racing Motorsports is in the chase. And Colin Denton in the 21 has missed via tiebreaker. Unbelievable. There is your race winner. Second win of the year for Dawson Miller. That's his 10th career win. For him, well done. Fantastic drive. Best car all day. Much deserved winner. Tristan Allen's the regular season champion with 5th. Richard Frigid 6th. More than enough for him to get in. Kelly Lee, 1 point short. It was 1 point between 16th and 18th. That is unbelievable. And Noah Clifton, I think that's him. Noah Clifton gets in the number 6, and hopefully we can find Jamie Rose in the 40 here. Because, and a little bit of contact there with Friesen. Maybe something happened on the racetrack that we didn't see. But Jamie Rose in the number 40 gets in by virtue of the win at Daytona. Gets in via tiebreaker. That is unbelievable. How about that? So she gets in. Unbelievable. What a race. Dawson Miller wins in a very tight finish over Jake Rogers. Richard Frigid 6th. He gets into the chase. Tristan Allen will be the regular season champion. Well done to all of those guys. And you look over to another page. Cody Smart should have finished better than 11th. But Kelly Lee was 1 point short. William Baroque was 5 points short. Clifton gets in the number 6. So 2 Soflo Toyotas get in. And how about Jamie Rose, who gets in with a 22nd place finish by 0 points. Gets in via tiebreaker over Colin Denton. And you got a feel for Colin Denton. He gave it his all. And he misses out via tiebreaker. And over this page, all these guys had terrible days at the office in the grand scheme of things. Miserable results. And Simon Nichols will be breathing a sigh of relief, finishing the last position with teammate Kian Rowley involved in that first yellow of the day. And here are the standings. The all-important chase standings updated with the updated points. Tristan Allen will lead the points heading into Chicagoland by 2 points over Jake Rogers, Alexander Rowe, Dawson Miller, and Porkins the top 5. And then over to the next page. Jamie Rose, 15th. Simon Nichols will be last because he did not have a win. Jamie Rose, 3 bonus points because of the win she got at Daytona. And then Denton, Lee, Brock, and Smart, 4 veterans, missing out by by literally nothing in Colin Denton's case, but 1 point for Kelly Lee, 5 points for Brock. And it's a tough break for them. They miss out, and all they got to do is they got to go out and try and win races like these guys. Back in here, down the order, just got to do what they can in these last few races of the last 8 races of the season. And thank you so much to everyone for watching all 16 of the regular season races for the AKG Cup Series. The chase begins at Chicagoland next time out. We will see you then.